Welcome to Good Books Lately. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Brandon.
And today...
we are going through our...
Hold on. I got so weird just then. I went like... I'll do it again.
And today, we're going to tell you guys the top five, or not top five, the 5 books...
We take it from the top.
Yeah.
Welcome to Good Books Lately. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Brandon. Delayed.
Don't think too much on that.
I know.
Okay. Welcome to Good Books Lately. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Brandon. And today, we're going to go into the books that we want to read for 2025.
I was trying to put up a 5.
Yeah, and it's going to be 5 each. The 5 books that we wanted. Not all of the books we're going to try to read it, but these 5 that we really want to make sure we get to. The kind of cornerstones, the touchstones, the
meat and potatoes of what we're doing next year.
Yeah, the really ones we want to sink our teeth in and get to, and then have them spread out throughout the year.
Right. I think it's like if we only read 5 books next year, these are the ones we want to make sure we read.
If we were just thrown out of a plane into a desert island.
A deserted island?
Desert island.
5 books we definitely want to read in 2025.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe some of these books will be ones that make the Good Books Lately book club over on Patreon. Definitely check it out if you're interested in getting involved in a really fun community and book club. Are you ready? You wanted to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off. For next year, the nonfiction that I want to make sure I read is one that's been on my radar and back burner for a long time. Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain.
Late Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah. We loved him. We would watch
he was great.
No Reservations all the time, and then what was the new one that he did?
I didn't watch that one as much. I watched No Reservations with You. It was more than a cooking show.
Yeah,
it was a food
travel show. Travel show.
Yeah.
But I hear nothing but good things about this, and everyone says this is like what it kind of changed the way like kind of chefs write about themselves, and he's kind of the bad boy chef, kind of punk guy, right? And so I want to read it.
Yeah, subvert the dominant paradigm type.
Yeah, and I think I picked up this book during Prime Day deals.
Cool.
It was like I was like, you know what? I'm buying another book. I can get this one for the same price as the total of the other book, brand new. So kind of worked out, and I wanted to get it, and I've been wanting to read it, so I figured might as well. And so it's been on my shelf since Prime time.
Since
Our little Prime Day deals.
Just walked in the kitchen. What's up, bud?
So yeah, I'm gonna read this one this year, probably early start of this year, if not sometime in January, the middle.
I mean, there's only 5 there, so you could really read it.
No, I know, but I think this will be my first nonfiction of the year. So
eat that cookie and then hit the road, Jack.
That means it's on to you.
So sticking with the nonfiction theme. Now listen, I've not read nonfiction, really. And I need to start reading more nonfiction. And that's something that we're going to talk about in an upcoming video.
Yeah.
But I really want to kind of break into nonfiction. I have a couple options on our bookshelves that have been piquing my interest. But the one that I really want to make sure I read is The Art Thief.
Yeah.
This is by Michael Finkel. I think that's a really unfortunate last name. But
it's the one you're born with.
It's fine. It's the one you get. A true story of love, crime, and a dangerous obsession. It's got sprudges, which is what the cool kids are calling sprayed edges. It says Stephanie Breitweiser is the most prolific art thief of all time. Excuse me. Stefan Breitweiser is the most prolific art thief of all time. He pulled off more than 200 heists, often in crowded museums in broad daylight. His girlfriend served as his accomplice. His collection was worth an estimated $2 billion. He never sold a piece, displaying his stolen art in his attic bedroom. He felt like a king until everything came to a shocking end. In this spellbinding portrait of obsession and flawed genius, Michael Finkel gives us one of the most remarkable true crime narratives of our time, a riveting story of art theft, love, and an insatiable hunger to possess beauty at any cost.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Great.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Seems like something that you would want to see in like a docu-series, right?
Right.
Like a true crime docu-series. So my first for the 5 that I want to read in 2025 is The Art Thief.
Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. I want to read that one too.
Yeah.
Okay. My next, number 2.
Oh, this one is one of my, I almost pulled this off the shelf.
You've had this in like a list TBR forever. Is Between Two Fires by Christopher, and how do you say?
Buehlman.
Nothing but good things
I've heard
about
great
this on the YouTubes, on the BookTubes, the Book Talk, whatever you want to call it.
The Goodreads.
It's what, self-published, right? I think was what we found out. Epic
Yes.
tale of medieval horror.
Yes.
So kind of has fantasy vibes, medieval times, but also horror vibes.
Plague stuff is going on.
Yeah, but it looks. I mean, how could you not want to read a
Read
book
some
that
of
has
that.
this cover?
I know. Look at it.
That's a cool cover.
It's a fantastic.
Not to judge a book by its
illustration.
cover.
But you have to sometimes.
Yeah, it says, a brutal knight offered one final chance at salvation. A troubled priest, last survival of his parish, drowning himself in wine and guilt, kind of like Salem's Lot. A young girl orphaned by the Black Death, obeying the commands of angels, both terrible and beautiful. This trio will undertake a journey across the medieval French countryside, decimated by war and plague, encountering along the way martyrs and saints, brigands and fools, the damned and their hellish masters. They have little chance to save mankind, but they might, just might, save their own souls.
Sounds good. Is that kind of like a Canterbury Tales type? You know, when they like got like the different people they meet along the way and all the different stories.
Maybe. But I'm stoked.
I know
think
it
it's gonna be
sounds so
a cool
good.
book.
I don't know why we've hesitated for so long to read it. We've known
Other
about
things
it for
have
a while.
kind of come.
I
Yeah,
know.
we've had it on our shelves for a while. We said this. I think in spooky season.
Yeah.
You're going to read this.
People
or
say it's like it's spooky.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get into that one.
Yeah, me too.
Real soon.
Me too, for sure. All right, my next one, number 2. This one is one I'm sure people that have listened to me talk about books I've read before are like, okay, when are you going to start?
Yeah, right.
And that is Bringer of Dust by J.M. Miro. This is the sequel to Ordinary Monsters, which I have read and I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I have a very detailed review over on Goodreads for that particular book. This is the sequel to that. I have heard, as much as people liked the first book, one of the biggest criticisms that I remember is that it was very long and very, not like it didn't drag, but it was long and drawn out. And people said that it took time for them to really become fully invested in it. But this one, I guess it hits the ground running and you just get
Yeah, because
stuck
you've already got all the stuff from the previous
Right,
ones.
yeah.
Kind of don't need the build up as much.
And in that same vein, people were saying that if there's some time between when you finish Ordinary Monsters and you start this, that it does a pretty good job of kind of getting you back into the swing of what's happening.
That's good.
And so it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. And it starts off in Sicily in 1883, which
Nice. What's not to like about that?
sounds amazing. So I'm really excited about this. That's all I'll say, because if you haven't read the first one, you don't want to know too much about where this one goes. But it says, a towering achievement. Charles Dickens meets Joss Whedon in Miro's otherworldly Netflix binge-like novel.
Oh, wow.
See, this one, fascinating. The vivid cinematic quality of the world and its magic will appeal to classic fantasy lovers. That's what I thought about Ordinary Monsters.
Right.
It's very cinematic. There's a train
remember
scene.
you saying
Yes, that was just like, oh, it blew my mind. So this is definitely a 2025 read.
Nice.
For sure.
All right. Great.
Your turn.
For my next one, my next 3 are all kind of older classics.
Yeah.
But the next
Great
one,
quality, though, I'll tell you. What do you see these?
my next one is a classic sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
And I've read one of other books this year, smaller book, but this is Robert Heinlein. Somebody told us how to say it, and I can't remember now.
I think it's Heinlein.
Heinlein, yeah. But Stranger in a Strange Land. It's the one I read was A Door to Summer, or Into Summer, and it says the author of Stranger in a Strange Land. This is the original uncut version.
Cool.
That I had a smaller paperback
Where
version.
did you get that one?
So I had a smaller paperback version
Yeah.
I picked up at like a thrift shop.
Yeah.
And then when we were doing we went to Savers to look for books for our little library.
Yeah.
This was on the shelf, and so I got it at Savers, and it was the bigger version. I was like, you know what, I would like this. I would like to, I like kind of I got bigger hands.
Yeah.
Right. So I needed more for them to hold on to. And so this just looks better. And so I put the littler mass market paperback out in the little library. I think it's already been taken. And I held on to this one. But I'm eager to dive into it and see what it's all about. I've heard amazing things. It's been around, since like 1970 or 60, maybe 40 even? I don't even know.
No, not 40.
No.
61.
61. Yeah, 1961.
1961.
Yeah, so, old.
Cool.
Really cool. Just classic sci-fi. Want to get into it. Want to read it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I've been getting more into the sci-fis outside of the Star Wars sci-fi.
Yeah, also we don't want to say Star Wars too.
Yeah, or tank
The video will tank. All right, my next one is one that I feel like it's a long time coming for me starting this, especially because of my interest in like English history in terms of like the monarchs, King Henry VIII, especially that particular time period. And that is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. Let me go right here. So this is part of a series of books. And this is book 1 of the Wolf Hall trilogy. So there's Wolf Hall. I can't remember if like Bringing Up the Bodies is the next one. And then I can't remember the third one. I have all of them.
Yeah.
But I need to read this. So this really, Bring Up the Bodies and the Mirror and the Light.
There you go.
These books follow Thomas Cromwell. So Thomas Cromwell, I think, is the main figure in these books. It takes place in the 1520s. Cromwell's working for King Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn is in the picture.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the goings on around court at that time as they relate to Thomas Cromwell, which in my opinion is a really fascinating character during that time period and in the court of King Henry VIII. I mean, it's great that they have a book series about him because there has to be so much going on, the inner workings of him. And like, I mean, because he's a morally gray character in history.
Yeah.
Some would even say it's very black and white, but I think that really when you look at it in the time period, the context of the time period, who he was working under, what the situation would have been if he deviated from what that person wanted, that it's very gray. And so I'm hoping that this sheds a little bit more light on Thomas Cromwell, more than I already know from my C.J. Sansom, the Shard Lake series, because that's where
I want to get into that too.
I think this would be a really cool one to introduce as like a book club option.
Yeah, we tried. It almost.
It almost won. It
was second, I think.
But maybe we'll see. Maybe. But yeah, I'm excited for this. The Hilary Mantel, because there's also a series which I've heard is fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah. Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. So my next one is another classic. Like I said.
Careful. Do you need help with that one?
Yeah, this one's a big one.
Want me help you carry it?
This has been recommended all the time because we read a lot of Stephen King now, and I'm getting into it. So I figured I got to do it since I picked up my copy of it. Stephen King, The Stand. Oh, sorry, it's not for the first time. Complete and uncut. So this is like the re-edition of it after the first one, with its adds in like another 300 something pages. But I got it's a used copy. I got at Bookman's. Was it Bookman's?
Did you get it for $11?
No, I got it for $60 or something.
60?
Something like that.
Do you see that?
I know. That's what made me mad. But it was like
Where's that right there?
That's who originally. This was a Christmas present.
Gift in 1990.
Janelle something Arnold.
Is it a first edition?
Yeah. See. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a library. I don't know. But anyway, it's she's gonna look at it. It's, everyone who says this is one of his masterpiece works is The Stand by Stephen King. So I figure I got to get into it, especially
Rage is listed in this.
Yeah. Especially since, I've become a quick fan of his work. I've read a lot of his books so far, and I've been reading, the Dark Tower series. I'm in the middle of that, and some other things, and I guess characters from this Stand kind of cross over into other worlds, and it's part of a bigger universe. And I want to read it, and everyone says it's great. And then I feel like I've done it.
This should not be okay. So this was the sticker underneath the binding, underneath the library binding. It says $11, but when you bought this, it was sold to you for $60. And I feel like it says as is $60. And I'm thinking it's fine. If you want to charge $60, fine.
Yeah.
But take off the other sticker because it just makes it look.
Yeah, because I can't even get that. Well, they can. It's
ridiculous.
Like this laminate thing you got to peel off.
Of course, it might have been a sticker from a long time.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
This is from. I don't know. Used. It was from a used bookstore.
A used bookstore was charging $11 for it. Maybe that's the argument is well, they didn't know.
They didn't know what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this book's 1970 something, right?
1978.
75.
75
or 78.
1978. But this one is 1990.
Yeah.
This one was published in 90.
Yeah. So, but it's a classic. It's one of his best. So I want to get it done this year, and I'm gonna have to start it at the beginning of the year. It's good.
You're gonna have to start it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's got what 1152 pages in it.
A lot of people say that would have been a really creepy book to read during the COVID lockdown.
Yeah, I've heard people who said that they read it while And they're like,
Well,
oh, yeah. Your mom said that, right?
Yeah.
She said
she didn't read it then, but
that,
she
but
knew
yeah.
about like that. Okay.
All right. What's your next one?
My next one is this one. So this is one. So my sister-in-law talked about this one. I've listened to Ty talked about that. I think he talked about this.
He told me about it.
We've seen things like on BookTube mentioned about this book. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to read a book like that. It just doesn't seem like it's right. It's down my alley. But honestly, my alley has changed a lot in the last several months.
Yeah.
And so who knows what's down my alley? I'm reading The Shining right now.
your alley.
Yeah, who knows? So that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt.
Yeah.
So this, I was listening to Nick from Books Are Sick talk about this, and the way he described it, he was like, it's like a 90s dark academia type movie that you would expect to see, which that kind of was like, oh, maybe this isn't what I'm thinking it is, because that actually sounds fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say it's just really fun, kind of unnerving, because of just what these people are doing, the situation. And that's, I guess, why I'm more interested. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued in getting into it and seeing what it's all about. A challenging combination of mystery and exploration of evil, both banal and bizarre. A smart, craftsman-like, viscerally compelling novel. Yeah, I mean, if it's suspenseful from start to finish, I'm into it. And that's what Vogue says that it is. Not to mention beautifully written.
Right.
So Donna Tartt's The Secret History, I definitely want to have this one. I just want to say that I've read it and I want to read it. I want to experience it.
Yeah.
I want to know what all the fuss is
Yeah, I do
about.
too. I want to read it.
I know you do.
I'll probably read it right after you.
Yeah.
Or before you.
Sounds good. All right, here's another big one. Not as big, but
Yeah. But another classic, though,
Yeah.
that everyone loves or tells me I should read. And it's a long time coming because
Yeah.
your mom got a copy of this for me for a Christmas, like, I don't know, 10 years
What
ago.
happened to it?
It's still here. We still got it. We have two copies. This is
we
a
have two
different
copies
copy.
of this. Okay.
But it's just been on the shelf and I haven't really gotten around to do it because it's fiction.
At the time,
But it's
you weren't
historical
really
fiction.
reading
Yeah, I
more.
wasn't reading a lot of fiction. But it's Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth.
Yes. I
which-
know
what
Mom
is-
watching this right now is probably like, yes, I've been saying.
Yeah, look at that.
Look
But
at that hair.
we brought it up in another video, or maybe it was on Patreon or something. But everyone's like, you got to read Ken Follett. You got to do it.
We got this for $20, and this is a first edition.
Yeah, or a second edition or something.
No, it's a first. I think that was why I got it. Go to the publishing fly page.
I don't know.
I like finding it. 1989. Yeah, this is a first edition.
Might be. Doesn't say on here. I think it's a second edition.
What is that? How do you know that?
It's just right there. It says second. But anyway,
Oh, second edition.
yeah, I think so. But it's really nice, good quality. Cool
Yes,
cover.
great cover.
But yeah, I've been just putting it off, but enough people have said you got to read it.
Same.
Yeah. So I'm gonna dive into this area. So I've got some thick boys.
You got some
this
big
year.
boys.
So thankfully, 365 days.
Yep.
I'll have some time to do it. And
better
then we'll
get
talk
ready.
about why we're not really gonna be worried about how many we read,
Yeah.
but quality.
Quality of the books that we
Maybe.
read. I think
Coming
that's
up
why
in
we
the
could,
videos.
yeah, we didn't want this to be like the 50 books we're going to read in
2025.
That's not
Yeah. All right. You have one more.
Yep, one more because I've had this for a long time. Picked it up at Old Wally World back, I don't even know when, like back in early summer. Oh,
August.
maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. But I picked this up because it sounded interesting.
Yeah.
I was into the fantasy at the time, and I
Out One
love
Dark
the coming out of One Dark Window. And yeah, so that I don't know. That is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. Now, this is a book. It's fantasy, it's romantasy, it's Viking history. A shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Norse. I feel like that's something you would enjoy.
I think that's what it is too. If this can be like a fun gateway drug into like Norse mythology and culture and fiction.
That's a book you should read. Did we listen to that, right?
The Neil Gaiman one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we listened to it.
Yeah.
And also it has these really pretty shiny blue spreads.
Yeah, they're like sapphire.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Her fate is inked in her blood. It's carved in her bones. This power is Freya's destiny. And I think this is the first book of a series.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
book one. It
yeah.
says on the front.
It's by Del Rey Publishing. Isn't that the same publisher that does
A lot of Star Wars
the
stuff.
Court of Thorns? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I also I know you shouldn't like judge a person by their picture, but I just kind of feel like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she
I mean,
just
like-
looks like she knows what she's
It's
doing.
like, Ken
knows
Ken
what
Follett
he's
knows
doing.
what he's doing. Look at that.
Unapologetic.
When he's not
hair.
writing Pillars of the Earth, he's doing stand-up at the comedy shop.
And there's Danielle Jensen. She just like she knows what she's doing. I don't know. Sometimes you got to do that kind of thing. Whatever.
Don't judge a book by cover. Don't judge an author by her book flap.
Or do, right? And then report back. Let us know how that goes for you. But that's it. Those are our 5 books that we definitely want to read in 2025.
We're definitely going to read those.
That's our plan for sure. What happens in between all of those? Who's to say? And I know and there were so many on the shelf. I was like, maybe this one, but we can only pick 5.
Right.
So, what do you guys what
let us know.
One book that you definitely want to read in 2025. Drop it down in the comment section.
New, old, forgotten about,
reread,
waiting to come out.
Even if you plan on doing an audiobook of it.
Yeah. Audiobook counts.
It totally counts. Let us know.
Otherwise, that was quick.
Yeah, that was it. That was quick and easy. And I'm ready for 2025. I'm ready to get into some of these. But you guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe it.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out Patreon. There's lots of additional content over there.
Yeah.
And we have a book club going on. It's a great way to support the channel. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally worth it. For sure.
But in the meantime, we'll catch you in the next one.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.